What's up? What's good? Matt Clark here at the new Matt Clark. How are each and every one of you doing on this amazing Saturday? I'm doing great. My girl's doing great. My family's doing great. I hope each and every one of you are doing great, despite the fact that we're not living in great times. Like let's be honest, Let's be honest. Uh, Times are kind of whack right now, and I think we all know that. If you could please hit that like button, if you could please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification button to get all my videos when they're new. If you could share with somebody on social media, help spread the message, help spread the word, that'd be amazing. And there's a PayPal option if you'd like to donate, help support the channel. The link's in the description of all of my videos. So what's up, what's up, what's up? What's everybody talking about today? What are you guys saying on this amazing Saturday? Hope everybody's doing good. P. Dano, what's up? Paul Harris, what up, what up? Jerry Cullen, what's going on, my brother? And Nick, hope all is well as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate the love, man. I don't think it's fair for felonies to always be there. Smoker's life. I get that. If you get a pardon, if you don't have too bad of a record, you can get a pardon eventually. But, that's a process for me. I don't know if that's possible with the amount of convictions that I have in my life. It may be, it may not be. Like, I just don't really know. Sorry, I'm going to fix this camera. Sorry, guys. It's like heavy, It's not aiming right, eh? You sound like a real Canadian, eh? But, I've been a little bit stressed lately, man. Canada's kind of like losing their minds, losing their way. Gambit Bandit, what up, man? So, as we all know, on the 22nd of September, a vaccine mandate goes in here in Ontario and all of Canada, I'm pretty sure, to be able to attend any inside institutions, restaurants, gyms, movie theaters, airplanes, anything like that. They're making people choose between their careers and the vaccine. And at the end of the day, I'm not anti-vaccine. I want everybody to know that very clearly. But I am anti-government control, and I am anti-feeling like this is not right. But at the end of the day, what position do you have? What can you do? I just spent 20 years in prison. I'm not going to spend another 2 years in prison just to avoid a vaccine. I'm not. Matt, curious why high-profile guys go to regional treatment mental health centers. Any idea? No idea. I would say that most high-profile guys aren't going there. I'd say most high-profile guys are going to like Millhaven Penitentiary segregation if they're doing a lot of time and they're like a vulnerable target, or like somebody like Bernardo or something like that where they're really high-profile but they have crappy crimes and they'll just be an instant target. But regional treatment centers for those that are like clinically insane, criminally insane. You know what I mean? Pretty much. Like if you're going there, it's because you're having mental health breaks in regular penitentiaries and they can't handle you anymore. So listen, this is what I look at it like. If I was in prison, okay, and they said to me, we're going to let you out of prison if you get vaccinated. Buddy, I'd be lining up tomorrow. For me, it's not about that. It's not about the vaccine for me, if that makes sense. It's about the flex and the fact that nobody in society, especially here in Canada, sees it as wrong. You have 80% of the population that's 100% supportive of this mandate. And then when you have that much of a population that's supportive of something, you can't really technically protest it. You know what I'm saying? The whole population in this country has already given up all their rights. I guess they don't care anymore, I think I'm going to get vaccinated, to be honest. Honestly, I'm not worried about the vaccine, man. I'm not. I put crack in my body. I put coke and heroin in my body. I put all that stuff in my body for years. It's not about that for me personally. Now, I don't believe that a 24-year-old, a 15-year-old, a healthy young adult needs it. I don't. And I think that trying to force it on people is crazy, you know? In my situation, I would even say it's a little different, right? Because I've lived a hard life. Like, I put my my body through years of addiction, my lungs through years and years and years of smoking. So who knows what effect that would have on me. But when you're hearing that they're vaccinated 12 to 15-year-old people, it's a problem for me, man. I think it's weird, man. Yeah, for me, for me, this is the thing. I look at it different than a lot of people, right? So a lot of people are looking at the vaccine like that's the conspiracy, like that's where the issue lies. But with me, it's not the vaccine, man. The vaccine is the consequence of the real conspiracy, and it just upsets me seeing the where our world is going. The real hex. If your friend violates like a protection order, like a probation order, or like a separation, he'll probably go to prison for like 30 days. D Diddy, yo, Matt, some of the best places to go camping, be part of nature, get away from the BS society in Canada. I ain't much of a camper, bro, to be honest. I'm more of a city guy. I would definitely say you go north, you go to places like Parry Sound, Muskoka, Wasaga Beach, places like that. You could also go to like Algonquin, you know. See Brown Wing Socket, that's more what I'm worried about. For me, like, if they would have just shut the hell up and just let people make their own choice, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. But the problem is, like, they're forcing people to choose between their careers. They're forcing people to choose between being able to live life, man. And like I said, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Hold on one sec. I gotta plug this shit in. Like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not somebody who is anti-vax, but I am anti-honesty, and I am anti. I'm just anti holding people hostage, and that's what they're doing, man. That's what they're doing. Of course, I watch UFC. Is there any chance an ex-cop could hit GP? I'll tell you, when I first got to Fembrook in 2004, I was just a young guy at that time. Now, I wouldn't say that it was like a high security jail, because it's not, but it was population, and there was an ex-cop there that just hid out in his building all the time. He didn't do much going out in the yard or nothing like that. Northside YEG. I'm not a hater, bro. Anybody can do what they do. I'm all about choice. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those guys that's going to start shaming people for not being vaccinated. I'm not one of those guys that's going to shame somebody for being vaccinated. I'm my own person. I make my own decisions. I'm not into tribal nature and just jumping on board of some group because I feel like I resonate with that group the most. I feel like that's the biggest problem in our society nowadays, is the tribal way that we live as people. You know, everybody just wants to be a part of some group. And if you're not part of that group and your ideology doesn't match, then they just slam you, try to cancel you, drag you through the mud, try to embarrass you online, try to cost you your job or your career, whatever it is. It's a damn shame, man, where the world is going. You know, Donnie Brasco, what up, man? I only ever got one flu shot in my entire life, and that flu shot was the H1N1 shot. And the only reason why I got that shot was because my mom asked me to get it, basically begged me to get it. I haven't talked to my mom for months over the vaccine. You know what I'm saying? My dad has COPD and a bunch of lung diseases that COVID could kill him. So basically, if you're not vaccinated, I can't be around my family. Joanne Kerr, $20. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. So I just feel like because there are so many sheep, it makes it impossible to do anything about it. It's crazy to me. Yeah, I'd never do doing crimes with a cop is risky, man. If you're organized crime and you got some cops on the lug or whatever you got to do, or if you're in prison, you got some cops on the lug. But if you're just willingly doing crime with a cop, not my style, playa. Not criminally responsible. If they can do that, it's hard body. That's because a lot of the time mental health does play a big role in somebody taking somebody's life, and it's not acknowledged because the court spends all their time trying to prove that it's not the case. And we all know about corruption at the level of the courts. So not every single person who kills somebody is suffering from mental health, but if you see somebody a lot of the time who's young or doesn't make a lot of sense, there's probably a reason behind that. And you're not doing yourself any good by just locking them up, throwing away the key for 25 or 30 years, and then saying, see you later. The best thing to do is try to figure out what's wrong, what led to that. And sometimes committing somebody is the only way to do that. Oh, they were robbing people. Yeah, you get whacked like that, man. I think even the prosecution is not going to challenge the NCR report. That means it's probably legit, That means it's probably really reputed psychologists or psychiatrists that have given their opinions on the matter, and they're not going to argue it because certain people have reputations where it doesn't matter if you argue it or not. I'm sure I probably would, but no names on here, brother. You know that. Holler at me on Instagram. Truth is all it takes is one of those tyrants to mess with the wrong person, and boom. I don't disagree, man. I don't. But in the meantime, what are you supposed to do? Give away your job? Give away your family and your freedoms? I don't know, man. It's a big decision for me, but my girl's having a huge issue with it because basically she's being forced to choose between her career, which she spent years going to school for, or a vaccine, which she really doesn't want. So it is what it is, man. My opinion. What up? Yeah, he's sleeping, but hold on. He's getting bigger. He might try to bite me. Hold on. Come here, Turkey. Come on. You want to come say hi? Oh, here he is. Say hi, Tonky. This is Tonka. He's probably not happy. I just woke him up. He's a bit of a jerk, to be honest. But look, he's getting bigger. This is 16 weeks only. So he's a good boy, though. I'm going to go put him back. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. But he's a good boy. No puppy, kitty. Is BC and Quebec the easiest time for lifers? I'd say it's the easiest time for anybody. Quebec is serious for sure, but it's more convict run. It's more organized. So you can get it for sure, but you're probably not going to get it for no reason. And British Columbia, definitely, like there's prisons where you can watch whales and stuff. So Every province, though, will have prisons that have some violence, and it'll cascade down. So it just depends, right? Someone said vaccines are mandatory in elementary school years ago, just the basic flu vaccine or whatever the ones they are. Is this true? There's a lot of vaccines that are actually mandatory, right? Like measles. Nowadays, everybody gets chicken pox. It's mandatory to have Hep A and Hep B nowadays in school. I remember when I was in grade 7, they lined everybody up to give you that. So, like I said, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I just wanted more information, you know? That's all I wanted. I think the judge can ultimately make that decision, but I think a lot of the time the judges will hesitate to go against recommendations, especially if the Crown isn't arguing. The Anglophones and Francophones have beef in prison. I definitely say that if they're fully speaking French, there might be some problems. But if you're from Quebec, you might be all right. If you're from, like, if you're in provincial and you're from Ontario and you don't speak French, you might have some problems. It just depends. Back in the day, Matt, are you going to do an interview with Eddie? I subbed his YouTube channel. I think an interview between you would be fire. Yeah, I'd like to interview Eddie. Who, Eddie that watches my videos? I'd love to do an interview with Eddie. Nor said probably. They said Nova guy that went from Ontario, BC, now Quebec. Apparently couldn't do anything with him out west. Huh. Yeah, they got people on the ghost trains now because they shut a bunch of prisons down. If you're in the building, go up top and hit that like button. Thank you very much. It helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe to the channel. We speak on prison. We speak on addiction. We speak on life. And we just chop it up, man, a couple times a week. Come in here and shoot the shade. Murder is back in January. Huh. That's quick, though. It's getting dealt with that quickly. Here in New Brunswick, the cops speak French to you on purpose just to provoke you and make you mad. Makes sense. It definitely makes sense. And I know there's a lot of French-speaking people in New Brunswick. So, oh yeah, lockup. How does that work doing weekends? Why do some people get to do that? Well, if you're doing weekends, you basically, your sentence can't be more than like 90 days or 60 days. And they break it up intermittently if you don't have a bad record or you have zero record at all. So you can continue to work a job and provide for your family. Like, say you're the sole provider for your family, your crime is petty, but you have to do some time. They might give you weekends or something like that. Huh. He's being nice. Yeah, if he's got mental health, that's crazy to me too, right? Because there's nothing worse for mental health than isolation. You know, a lot of the time, people that are suffering, whether it be bipolar, whether it be schizophrenia, whatever it is, they need to be around people so people can kind of talk them down from the ledge a lot of the time. And when they're just left in segregation of their own devices to get into their own mind, man, the more damage your mind gets, the worse those things get. Yeah, I just actually saw a thing about they're doing now a class action lawsuit for federal seg time. And I did administrative seg for over 90 days or around 90 days when I got shipped from Joyceville to Fembrook in 2006. So hopefully I'll qualify. I don't know if I do. It might have been too long ago. But I always handled isolation, man, because I was one of those dudes that I like doing my own time. You know, like, although it's funny, I like to laugh, I like to play sports and do this stuff. A lot of the time I like to just chill on my own, listen to music, maybe work out and do what I want to do without having a bunch of people in my ear. I don't do the greatest in public. I don't know, like socially, a lot of the time around people, I don't do the best, you know, like even though I get along with people and I'm good at talking to people, I just sometimes there's, you know, I just kind of want to go home. And I think that's maybe being overcautious with my freedom, and I think that's a good thing. Do you know any lifers who have been held past 25? Oh, lots of lifers held past 25. Honestly, first of all, it's not their warrant expiry date; it's their parole date. There is no warrant expiry if you're a lifer. You're on parole for the rest of your life. But there's tons of lifers. Life 7 that are in for 20 years. Life 10 that are in for 25 years. Life 25 that are in for 35 or 40 years. It happens all the time, man. It just depends on your behavior, Dirty piss tests will keep you in prison for the rest of your life if you're a lifer. The thing is, most places nowadays, Bandit, they don't allow you to have your own cell. If you're in max, you'll have your own cell. If you're in medium for a long time and you kind of build your way up through the ranks of the range, eventually you'll have your own cell. But most of the time, you're going to be spending time in a double. I think I spent my whole last bit in a double cell. 3 years. No, I didn't actually. The end of the bit, I went to what's called unit in Pembroke, Tundra. So it's probably I was probably in Tundra for like 8 months, something like that. What? Yeah, I'd prefer my own cell if I was in jail for sure. Oh, for sure, I know that, and that would suck. Here, Joyceville is double bunk now. Yes. If you are in Joyceville now, first of all, Joyceville is all reception. There is no population in Joyceville anymore. It is all reception. If you have to do programs there, you might have to stay there for a little longer, maybe 9-10 months. So maybe they move you to one side where you have a little bit more freedoms and stuff. You can do visits and things like that to accommodate the amount of time you're there. But most people are just there for classification and then they're out of there. And yeah, it's double bunked. How easy is it to get off a range if you know people are coming for you? It depends on how willing you are to make yourself look like you're scared. I've seen guys react in so many different ways. I've seen guys go up to the feds and say to them quietly, I need to get out of here. And then they'll come pull guys off. And then you see some guys, maybe they get a slap in the head and they're at the door like, bah! Like screaming for their life. Just depends, man. People have weird reactions, but I'm telling you. Like I've given guys shots, just wham, just a jab in the mouth, and they're screaming. It just depends on people. You'd be surprised. You have guys that are running around with their chest puffed up, and just one whap, death flies across the face, and they act totally different. And it's not even about being tough. It's just how it is. When they're transitioning. I got released in 20. Yeah, I got released the first time from Joyceville in 2013 as well. Yeah. And then I got a parole violation and went back a little bit in 2014 before my warrant. If she breaches them a second time, like breaches, you can only get 6 months or something tops, but you're not even going to get that. You'll probably get another 30 days or 60 days, something like that. I appreciate that. Nate Diaz, eh? You got West Coast set out in Ontario. Huh. Is it easy to be left alone in prison if you don't want any trouble? Depends on what prison you're in. But I think that if you do any amount of time, longer than maybe a couple of months, at some point you're probably going to get into it with somebody, You just have a lot of testosterone buildup, and sometimes someone might take you for a punk or something. You have to do something, unless you want to live like a bitch your whole time. So at some point, you're going to have to do something. 6 months on your first breach. Jesus. I don't know about that, bud. Ever been through Sudbury Bucket? No, I have not. But I do know people that have gone through Sudbury Bucket. I know a lot of people. Sudbury Bucket actually is known for having really good food for a bucket. Jerry Cullen, man, you already know. Peace and love to you too, brother. So what do you do when someone starts treating you like a punk in prison? You have one option. You fire off on them, man. Canadian prison war stories. No, I've never seen it. Do you see big... I stay out of the street politics, brother. I know people from all sides. So I stay out of it. I just hope that those boys can get along, make good music, and that's just it. Yeah, you walk right up. You sometimes not even at yards. Sometimes you just smash them right in the block. Depends on how big of a problem it is. Damn, I didn't know if you're doing minimum time now. I don't get it. What do you mean by that, Gary? Have you heard of Monteith? Yes, I've definitely heard of Monteith. Yeah. Prophylactic tactics. Matt, is extortion big in Ontario prison? Extortion is big in every prison, whether it's minor or major. You know, there's always guys flexing on guys, strong arming guys for canteen or whatever it is, food, dinners. There's always that kind of stuff. And if guys know guys have money, it's even next level. So you can't, for example, say you got a problem with them. You could arrange a fight, but it's not typically how it works. You probably don't want anybody to know that you're coming for them, you know? I don't know any police, no. So I've only done provincial time. Serious question. What does a straight dude who gets years or life? In Canada, the great thing is you can get trailer visits even if you're not married. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, man. Medium time, you're double bunked. Pretty much anywhere. You know, you might be able to earn your way into a double single if you're in Fembrook or something. But I think in the Bay, maybe if you're high medium, I don't know how the Bay is. I haven't been there, so I don't know how the selling is. But I know if you're in Tundra unit in Fembrook, which is a higher security unit, you're definitely going to be in a single cell. Canadian jail war stories. What's up, man? It was great, brother. So are most cellies okay, or are there lots of crazies or psychos? It just depends. You get a lot of weird dudes, especially if you're in province. Would it be a bad idea, or should I ignore it and keep going? It depends. You'd probably be all right if you move into somebody's cell, if you've actually like built a little bit of a relationship with that person. You know, it just depends though, you know. If the man ain't your friend, you're gonna know, right? And I got out of there in time. That's right. Is it true that there are women out there who get off on meeting people in prison through emails? I have no idea. I would think that there's definitely a lot of women that, if you go through like Canadian prison or Canadian inmates collect and things or connect and things like that, there definitely are a lot of women that for some reason are looking for men in prison. You know, I can't explain what that would be. Maybe it's loneliness. I don't know. If you want to throw, you throw. If you don't, any time and place. Yeah. So I'm saying, anytime, any place. No, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Norset. How can you maintain your privacy with a roommate? Are there a way to make sure weirdos don't get your friends? Didn't you hoops a whole bunch of tobacco and bring it into remand? Maybe. That's a long time ago. Oil is bass all SOs. I wouldn't say it's all SOs, but it is definitely SOs. A lot of them. Do you have open ranges like bunk beds right beside each other? No. You used to if you were in Tyack, but that's about it. Or Mimico. Bobby's World, man. What's up? Yeah. Yeah. I'm a box thief. You're right. That's why I survived 17 years. $25 small bundles. Are you nuts? That's hilarious. This guy's hilarious. If you don't want to get caught, go in the cell, get your cellie to stand at the door of the cell. That's it. You just fire. Honestly, I don't even care, man. If I don't want you in the cell, you're leaving it. I ain't living with some creeper weirdo. So at the end of the day, one of us is leaving. You know what I'm saying? So it's either you pack up and get the hell out or we're fighting. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? But you guys already know Canadian jail war stories. I'm going to check out your channel, brother. I'm going to go check it out. But I love you guys, man. Thank you for coming for the live. Appreciate that. You guys already know. Love y'all. The new Matt Clark. That's hilarious.